The throne room of the alien palace was vast, luminous, and silent except for the faint hum of the energy fields that kept the structure floating above the jagged crystal plains below. I had never imagined anything like it. Walls of shifting light, floors of glass that revealed swirling oceans beneath, and a throne that seemed carved from a single, massive star crystal. She sat there, the alien queen, regal and terrifying. Her skin was pale silver, reflective under the palace light, and her eyes, glimmered with swirling gold and violet, as if a galaxy had been captured within them. Her hair fell like liquid shadow, framing her sharp, commanding face. When I entered, she didn't stand. She didn't smile. She simply regarded me with that impossible gaze. "You may leave," she said finally, her voice low and resonant, vibrating with authority that made the air itself feel heavy. I froze, caught between awe and defiance. "Leave? Now?" "Yes," she said, every word like a blade. "You are no longer welcome here." I stepped closer, heart pounding. "Fine, but you'll miss me." Her expression didn't change. Not a flicker. Not a twitch. Silence. And that silence, it was louder than any scream. Middle, the dance of words and wills. I paused in the center of the throne room, hands behind my back, trying to mask the nervous tremor that ran through me. "You think your words matter?" the queen asked finally, her voice like molten metal rolling over ice. "You are a visitor, a human. You have no claim here." "And yet," I said slowly, keeping my voice steady, "I've walked farther than anyone has dared in your city, seen things your court fears to speak of, and survived where others fell silent. You may order me out, but my words are the only ones you cannot command." The queen's eyes narrowed. A subtle flare of gold ignited at their edges. She was intrigued. That much I could see, even beneath the layers of her imperious exterior. "You presume," she said, standing finally, a figure of towering grace, "that mere words can sway a being such as I?" "Not sway," I replied. "Make you pause." Her lips parted slightly, almost imperceptibly. A gesture lost to most, but I saw it. And I press my advantage. "You command armies, fleets, and the loyalty of a species," I said, stepping closer. "And yet, you cannot command my thoughts. You cannot command what I see, or how I choose to act. That even a queen cannot control." Her breath hitched slightly. That one fraction of a second, a barely there flinch, was all I needed to know that my words had landed. "You are bold, human," she said finally, voice softer now, the edge of command dulled by curiosity. "Bold to speak so, when others would kneel." I bowed my head just slightly, as though in mock submission. "I don't kneel for what I do not understand, and I've barely begun to understand you." The queen's eyes shimmered, a storm contained in her gaze. "And what do you think you understand?" "That you are not merely a ruler," I said, voice calm but earnest. "You are a protector, a strategist, a being who bears her world on her shoulders. And behind the armor, behind the throne, you are alone." The room went still. Even the hum of energy paused, as if acknowledging the truth of my words. Alone. I could see it then. Behind the queen's practiced composure, behind her imperious posture, there was hesitation, a crack in the veneer. "You see too much," she whispered, and for the first time, her voice held something I hadn't expected: vulnerability. The turning point. The throne room was silent, but tension hung between us, like a living thing. I knew I had crossed a line. One more step, one more word could ignite her fury, or something else entirely. "I will leave," I said finally, slowly stepping backward, eyes never leaving hers. "But remember this, you'll miss me." The words were almost playful, but beneath the surface, there was truth. I wasn't leaving just as a visitor. I was leaving a mark, a trace that even a queen could not erase. She said nothing at first. Then she made a sound soft, almost a sigh. It wasn't a laugh. It wasn't anger. It was acknowledgement. "You presume much," she said finally, tone still controlled but layered with something unspoken. "And yet," I replied, pausing at the exit, "every presumption I make comes from observation, and nothing about you is as simple as it seems." Her eyes followed me, not with command, not with fury, but with interest. Something flickered there, like starlight reflected on water. I walked out, each step measured, deliberate. Behind me, the silence returned, but it felt different now. Charged. Anticipatory. When I reached the outer doors, I glanced back. She remained on her throne, still regal, still untouchable, yet somehow changed. The queen had been left speechless, not by defiance, not by fear, but by words that pierced the armor she wore for centuries. Ending, respect, trust, and a new balance. Outside the throne room, the palace corridors seemed quieter than ever. I could feel her presence lingering in the air, in the subtle shifts of light around me, as if the entire place had absorbed the tension between us. I didn't expect an invitation to return, nor did I seek it. My words had been a statement, a declaration that even the mightiest cannot control all, and that some truths require recognition rather than obedience. Days later, reports came through the Interstellar network. The Queen's Council had changed course on several critical decisions, quietly, without public declaration. Some said it was coincidence. Others whispered it was the influence of the human visitor who dared speak in the throne room. I never returned to the palace immediately. I didn't need to. The effect of that brief encounter lingered. Then, one evening, as I monitored communications in the observation deck of my own ship, I received a single, cryptic transmission. "You were correct. Your words mattered. Q." Her signature was simple. The letter Q, etched in violet light. I smiled, knowing that a silent acknowledgement from the alien queen was worth more than any reward or title. Respect had been granted, trust established, and a balance struck, not through power, but through courage, insight, and the audacity to speak truth to a ruler whose words usually ended discussions. And somewhere deep in the palace, I knew she thought of me, not with anger, not with disdain, but with a curiosity I had never expected, and perhaps a faint trace of admiration. In the galaxy of stars, power, and secrets, I had walked into a throne room and left a mark, a human mark, on a being who had seen and commanded centuries. And that, I realized, was the beginning of a connection far greater than any decree, any law, or any throne. Because sometimes the mightiest fall silent not from fear, but from the truth delivered with courage. And sometimes that silence speaks louder than words ever could.